Here's everything you might have missed in The Boys, episodes 1 through 3. The Boys are back in town, and the third season of the superhero satire is bloodier than ever, and that's saying something. Prime Video released the first 3 episodes on Friday, and they're full of brand new supes, comic book Easter eggs, and details that you might have missed. We're gonna break it all down for you in just a moment, but in order to do so, we have to spoil what happens in The Boys episodes 1 through 3. So if you're not caught up on season 3 yet, then leave now before we get too deep inside. God bless you, and may God have mercy on your souls. All right, let's get into it, shall we? The season opens with the movie we saw being filmed all through season 2, Dawn of the Seven. It's a hilariously tongue-in-cheek takedown of both Marvel and DC. It's clearly shot in a style meant to evoke Zack Snyder's washed-out color palette, and it's a reference that's hammered home with the Release the Bork Cut campaign mentioned later.
The fans spoke with those Release the Bork Cut hashtags, you guys, I love you.
Now, the movie underwent extensive reshoots, much like how Joss Whedon reshot much of Justice League, and it's later mentioned that Tony Gilroy actually directed Dawn of the Seven. This is a reference to how Tony Gilroy also came in to oversee extensive reshoots for Rogue One. These reshoots recast Stormfront as the villain after she was publicly revealed to be a Nazi, and added A-Train back in after he was originally going to leave the team. This also marks Charlize Theron's second recent cameo as a purple-clad character that shows up in the final minutes of a superhero film. They also make fun of Marvel as well with the He's Not Alone scene, an update of the Girls Get It Done scene from season 2 with Stormfront. This is meant to parody a line from Avengers Infinity War and the A-Force moment in Avengers Endgame's final battle. In the movie itself, we can see the ruins of Vought Tower, meant to evoke Avengers Tower in the Battle of New York. We also see an ad for A-Train's energy drink Turbo Rush on a bus, and a toppled statue of Soldier Boy, which I'm sure is not foreshadowing at all. Now, picking up a year after the events of The Boys Season 2, our heroes are now on the straight and narrow.
Jesus Christ!
They're hunting down supes for the Federal Bureau of Superhuman Affairs. It's a newly formed government organization dedicated to superhuman oversight run by Congresswoman Victoria Newman and Huey. The Boys also have a swanky new office in the Flatiron Building in New York, much like they do in the comics. One of their missions finds the team exploring the gruesome aftermath of what all those Thanos and Ant-Man Endgame memes were speculating about. It's a real move, to say the least.
He's trying to get in my ass!
And while Vought negotiates a deal for the Soup Termite to walk free, the team is promised a group of B-listers instead: Cold Snap, Stacker, and Airburst.
B-listers, really?
Cold Snap and Stacker were members of the X-Men parodying group the G-Men. They were modeled after Iceman and Colossus, respectively. Airburst was a member of the G-Men Farm League team G-Wiz. We also see several more supes in the American Idol-inspired reality show American Hero, in which supes compete for a spot on the Seven. Supersonic was formerly the hero Drummer Boy, a member of Starlight's old team Young Americans from the comics, and he has the powers of super strength and sonic claps. There's also Moonshadow, a new body-positive San Diego-based hero, Silver Kincaid, an Emma Frost Jean Grey parody who was also in G-Men, and Livewire, a hero with electrical abilities. At one point, we see an ad for Robert Singer's presidential campaign. The acting Secretary of Defense, Singer, is referred to by Stan Edgar as Dakota Bob. Now, the name Robert Singer is itself a reference to the character that actor Jim Beaver played on Eric Kripke's other series, Supernatural, Bobby Singer. As for Dakota Bob, he's the president in the comics who gets killed and replaced by Victor Newman, a George W. Bush parody who's way less savvy than the AOC parodying Victoria Newman on this show. So bad news bears for this guy's presidential campaign, or if you read the comics, bad news Wolverines. When Maeve gives Butcher samples of Vought's new temporary Compound V, he hides it in a bulldog cookie jar. It's designed to look like his bulldog, Terror. In the comics, Terror is his constant companion, and we actually saw him back in season 2 when Butcher visited his aunt. Terror is also on the dart that Butcher throws at a picture of Homelander later in the episode. Now, quick side note, the Boys also took something similar to this temporary Compound V in the comics to give themselves power so they could go toe-to-toe with different superheroes. But here it's having seriously drastic side effects on Butcher.
What the f?
Now, Maeve also gives Butcher info on Soldier Boy and Payback. This supergroup modeled after the Avengers will play a major role in season 3. We see that Soldier Boy was a member of the New England Mafia brought up on racketeering charges before Vought turned him into their version of Captain America. The team consisted of Soldier Boy, Gunpowder, modeled after Judge Dredd and Deadshot, the Crimson Countess, inspired by Scarlet Witch, Mindstorm, based on Mind Droid from the comics, a parody of the Vision, the TNT Twins, based on the Wonder Twins, Black Noir, a current member of the Seven who's seemingly based on Black Panther, and the Wasp-inspired Swatto, also known as Airburst. As we learn in episode 3, they were involved in the CIA's operations in Nicaragua, running cocaine to fund President Reagan's Iran-Contra campaign. For those who don't know, the Iran-Contra affair was a secret US operation to overthrow revolutionary regimes in Nicaragua and Iran by facilitating the sale of arms and funding militias. Under the leadership of Grace Mallory, the CIA was running cocaine to pay for these Black Ops missions, smuggling them in Black Noir coffee crates. In the comics, Payback winds up screwing up the Battle of the Bulge during World War II, but here they've updated things. So Payback screws up operations in Nicaragua, killing over 100 of Mallory's men in the process. More importantly for Mother's Milk, we learn that Soldier Boy is the one that killed his entire family. In his Pepe Sylvia-style conspiracy wall tracking various supes, we see a newspaper article that reveals Soldier Boy killed MM's entire family by deflecting a car full of criminals into his family, causing a head-on collision. There's also an article about Huey's girlfriend Robin, who A-Train murdered back in season 1. Now, the second episode opens with another movie parody, this time a made-for-TV movie starring The Deep. After leaving the Scientology-esque Church of the Collective, the Deep recasts himself as a Leah Remini type. He stars in the Lifetime-style movie Not Without My Dolphin, a riff on 1991's Not Without My Daughter, where he tries to escape the church with its leader being played by Zoolander's friend, Billy Zane. Now, the episode also introduces us to the Red River Institute, a group home for kids with superpowers that's owned by Vought. Many of the kids there have parents who weren't equipped to raise a supe, or the parents were accidentally murdered. In Victoria's case, Stan Edgar adopted her and raised her for a purpose, to seize political power and blow some minds along the way. Red River first appeared in The Boys Presents Diabolical Episode 2, and we see a couple of important characters here. When Huey's browsing the database, we see Marie M, played by Jazz Sinclair. This is a sneaky Easter egg for the upcoming college set spin-off of The Boys, in which Sinclair stars. It's described as part college show, part The Hunger Games, with college-age superheroes competing for hero contracts. We also see Teddy Stillwell, the son of Madeline Stillwell. When Homelander's former handler Madeline was killed back in season 1, Teddy, a baby, wound up 17 miles away from the house, safe and sound. Now, based on what we see here, it seems like that might have been an early manifestation of his powers of teleportation. We also get a glimpse at how the members of Payback are doing. At the gun show, we see that Gunpowder's license plate reveals 2A forever, or Second Amendment forever, since he's now staunchly pro-gun, and Crimson Countess is performing a Soldier Boy-themed musical review at Voughtland. It's a deeply cynical theme park that shows how corporations will latch onto causes and social issues to further line their pockets. Now, moving on, Homelander's annual birthday save is modeled after All-Star Superman number 10. It's a story where Superman saves a young woman from taking her life by jumping off a building and taking the time to listen and talk with her. In episode 3, Frenchie runs afoul of Little Nina, a Russian crime boss who in the comics winds up making her own version of Compound V and making an army of supes. Now, did their heads explode? Yes, they did, but that's neither here nor there, because their heads exploded, and they're not there anymore. Back at the Flatiron Building, MM rocks an NWA shirt while Huey reunites with the team wearing a shirt from The Last Waltz. This iconic 1978 concert film directed by Martin Scorsese documented the farewell concert of the band. Now, in need of a valid excuse to miss work, he asked Kimiko to break his arm.
1, 2...
This actually echoes a moment in the comics where Kimiko breaks Huey's arm in the hospital because he tried to eat her chocolate mints. There are also plenty of classic movie posters in this hideout, including one for the Lemon Drop Kid and another for A Woman of Distinction. That last one is important because it foreshadows the shocking development in the final moments of this episode. The 1950 film is about a manufactured romance between two people designed to generate publicity, much like what happens with Homelander and Starlight.
#Homelight.
The episode also ends with the boys getting ready to make their way to Russia, where they'll likely try to break out Soldier Boy from that Winter Soldier-style lab that was teased in the trailers. Of course, considering that Soldier Boy is on a level on par with Homelander, they might just be opening Pandora's box here. And while the show is heavily implying that Soldier Boy and the weapon that supposedly killed him are the keys to stopping Homelander, it seems like the real answer might be hiding in plain sight: Ryan. As Homelander's son, he was powerful enough to take down Stormfront, and maybe he could be the one to ultimately stop his depraved dad as well. Of course, only time will tell, especially considering how thoroughly Butcher seemed to burn that bridge in these first 3 episodes. But whatever happens, you'd better believe we'll be keeping our eyes peeled, laser vision or not, when episode 4 drops this Friday. In the meantime though, tell us, what did you think of The Boys' first 3 episodes? Did you spot anything that we missed?
I see nothing. I go. Okay?
Let us know in the comments below, and for the latest and greatest in the world of pop culture, make sure you stay tuned to Nerdist.com.